Hello everyone, and welcome to my 3rd anniversary! It's been 3 years since I started reviewing, and because my review for Tentacolino is still my most popular one to date, it's time to celebrate with one more installment of Which is Worse? Let's begin. Which is worse, Tentacolino or a piece of shit? Yeah, because comparing Tentacolino to another movie just wasn't enough, one of my viewers suggested that it compared to feces. But as nasty as crap usually is, it actually does serve a very important role in our ecosystem. All animal life has to defecate, but where does it go? It gets eaten by bugs, which in turn get eaten by larger bugs, which in turn get eaten by larger critters still, and so on all the way up to the top of the food chain. And since crap also helps fertilize most kinds of plant life, we literally have crap to thank for the continued existence of life on Earth. So the next time that you're having a crappy day, just remember that that's not necessarily a bad thing. Contrary-wise, what role does Tentacolino have in the grand scheme of things? Aside from causing internet reviewers to make snarky comments about it, I can't think of anything. So which is worse? Tentacolino. Which is worse, Tentacolino or My Little Pony fan films? Before we begin, I just want to set the record straight here. I'm not a brony. I can appreciate the show on a technical standpoint, and I do appreciate how the show is apparently teaching its target audience some decent lessons, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch this show. If you like the show, great, more power to you, but it's just not my thing. That being said, let's take a look at some My Little Pony fan films. There are 3 films in particular that I was asked to review for this episode: Snowdrop, Dusk's Dawn, and Double Rainboom. Snowdrop tells the story of a little blind pony who makes wishing stars out of snowflakes, and while it introduces some ideas and concepts that are kind of confusing, the animation is really indicative of the actual show. It's got some decent voice acting, and it's overall pretty okay as far as fan films go. Dusk's Dawn is about a pony who lives in a castle that we've never seen before, and he suffers from having an evil alternate personality, I think, who uses a magic ring to possess this other pony for some reason. And it ends with all these other self-insertion fanfic ponies going to this other castle, where something happens to them? Yeah, this one was just a mess. And it certainly doesn't help that all these ponies sound like some variation of Tommy Wiseau.
Cold even. I hope nobody will notice I left that hill snowy during last year's wrap-up.
Don't worry, I'll help out however I can.
Maybe it's not something I have done, but something I haven't?
And because this particular elephant in the room demands that it be addressed, this movie embraces some of the more stereotypical aspects of the brony fandom, with things like a phallic wand flying at someone's mouth, a mystical possession being cured through the power of the missionary position, and some prominently displayed pony bits. And what the hell is a Borny? The final film, Double Rainboom, features Rainbow Dash, who steals this new potion from Twilight Sparkle, which makes her fly so fast that she's able to jump into other Cartoon Network universes. And don't ask me how I know their names when I've barely watched the show. I have no idea! Yeah, this film actually has the real cast from the show, and they're backed up by voice actors who actually sound pretty damn close to the real thing. It also ends like the show with them telling the audience that it's wrong to steal, although I would argue that not using performance-enhancing steroids would probably be the better lesson. And it is hilarious to see this more authentic fan film literally destroying all of Ponyville. So, how do they compare to Tentacolino? For the most part, the animation is a lot nicer on the eyes, most of the characters aren't as annoying as they could have been, and it is worth noting that none of the names or voice actors change for no reason. Gotta give these movies credit for consistency, if nothing else. So, which is worse? Tentacolino. Which is worse, Tentacolino or Batman and Robin? Batman and Robin is widely regarded as one of the worst movies ever made. But you know what? I can't bring myself to hate this movie. Sure, it's full of terrible jokes that played up the camp factor instead of following the dark tone that Tim Burton established with his Batman movies. The editing was sloppy at times, and most of the artistic choices were just ridiculous. But at the end of the day, what is Batman and Robin? It's a movie about Batman using his brains and fighting skills to stop some bad guys from wreaking havoc on Gotham City. And Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy are just a couple of lost souls who don't know how to handle the tragedies that have befallen them, just like Batman villains should be. At its core, this movie is exactly what a Batman movie is supposed to be. And I know I'm gonna sound crazy for saying so, but I actually do like George Clooney as Batman. Hear me out! Michael Keaton was brilliant as the dark, tortured Batman that he's supposed to be. But when he has to play Bruce Wayne, he sounds really awkward since he only has a vague idea of how normal people are supposed to act.
You see, my life is really, complex. You know how a normal person gets up and goes downstairs and eats breakfast and kisses somebody goodbye and goes to a job and, you know.
No.
Then you get Val Kilmer in Batman Forever, and it's the exact opposite. He's comfortable with being Bruce Wayne, but it looks like he has no idea how to be Batman. But there's one line of dialogue from Batman Forever that most people tend to overlook.
You see, I'm both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Not because I have to be. No. Because I choose to be.
With his decision to embrace both personas, he becomes more comfortable with his lot in life, which is what we get in George Clooney's performance.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
I'm gonna stop you, save Gotham City, and then go on a hot date with Elle Macpherson. I'm Batman and life is good. And now back to Tentacolino. What is this movie supposed to be? It's a sequel to an animated retelling of one of the worst disasters in history, in which nobody dies. And as if that wasn't insulting enough, the movie ends with a pointless afterthought of putting the Titanic back together as if nothing ever happened. No harm, no foul, right? So which is worse? Tentacolino. Which is worse? Tentacolino or Food Fight? Those of you who have seen my very first Let's Watch are well aware of how bad Food Fight is. The lifeless animation, the ugly character designs, the terrible puns, the plot that doesn't make any sense at all. But you know what? This movie might have actually been halfway decent. I can honestly see the potential that this movie had. With a little bit of tweaking, it could have easily been another Toy Story or Wreck-It Ralph. It's also worth noting that halfway through production, there was a break-in at the studio that was producing the movie, and all of their hard drives were stolen. So here they were with the release date rapidly approaching and basically no product to show for it, so they had to rush and cut some serious corners to get it finished, which is why the movie looks as slipshod as it does. As opposed to the movie that they were trying to make, which you can actually see in the original trailer.
His name was Dexter, a great detective, and with his pal Daredevil Dan, he would always get his man, but when she vanished, he was a failure, so he stopped being a sleuth, cause he couldn't find the truth. Her name is Brand X, she is the new girl, and when she walked into his place, wow, the look on every face, but could he trust her? He didn't think so, something didn't seem quite right. Tell me, what's an exobite?
Yeah, it's hardly perfect, but it looks a lot better than what it ended up being, right? Tentacolino, on the other hand, had no potential to it. Again, it's a sequel to an animated retelling of the Titanic disaster that ultimately has nothing to do with the Titanic or the 1,500 deaths that apparently didn't happen. Where could this movie possibly go? And while the sins of Food Fight might be forgiven since most of it was sabotaged, Tentacolino doesn't have that advantage. Everything we see on the screen is exactly what the director wanted us to see. So, which is worse? Tentacolino. Which is worse? Tentacolino or Transformers? We all know that Tentacolino is a terrible movie. And if you guys are taking my reviews to heart, then by now you should have a better idea of how terrible Transformers is. But now we must ask ourselves one very important question here. Which movie has done the most damage? Tentacolino is guilty of having annoying, idiotic characters, nonsensical plot points, and generally being insulting to the intelligence of its audience. Transformers is also guilty of having annoying, idiotic characters, nonsensical plot points, and generally being insulting to the intelligence of its audience. Most people would consider Tentacolino to be offensive to the memory of those who lost their lives in the Titanic disaster, and it's very easy for its audience to come to that conclusion. However, Transformers has attracted an audience surpassing that of Tentacolino by millions, and too many of them are convinced that it's a damn good movie despite how offensive it is. Tentacolino didn't have any sequels or spin-offs, and it failed miserably at convincing anyone that this is what actually happened to the Titanic and its passengers. Transformers, on the other hand, has earned billions of dollars, spawned 3 sequels, and manipulated millions of people into thinking that not only is it okay for the movie to be this bad, but that this actually is what the Transformers are supposed to be.
Bumblebee, stop lubricating the man.
Get that thing to stop, huh?
This movie has done more damage than Tentacolino ever has, and the absolute worst part of it is that it makes no difference what I say on the matter. There are still going to be people out there who will ignore that damage, and continue to insist that anyone complaining about the movie should move out of their parents' basement and just get laid already. If you're going to be okay with how terrible this movie is, you hereby forfeit any right that you had to complain about any other movie ever again. So, which is worse? Hopefully by now I've made it abundantly clear that Transformers is far worse. And thus concludes one more installment of Which is Worse. Thank you all for joining me, and do continue to send me suggestions for next year. And if I may, here's to one more year of laughs, insight, and terrible material for me to suffer through. And here's to all of you for sticking with me all this time.
You know there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so. Don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show. Working all day, now it's time to unwind. Kick back, relax, take a load off your mind.
Yeah, took me 3 years to find a movie to review that's worse than Tentacolino. Think about that. But hey, that's just my opinion. Agree with me? Disagree with me? Comment below and share your thoughts with the world.
I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time. Well, just leave your troubles at the door, leave your worries behind. Leave the rest up to me, you're gonna like what you find. I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time. It's party time.
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, watch more.